is lesson 2C. We're going to solve quadratics using our calculators. So this is the graphing method. So we need our calculators out. And we're going to start graphing these. So we want to graph them. We're going to grab the calculator. And when we graph them, we go to our y equals. Our y equals is our graphing screen. Okay? So we're going to type in a here. So we're going to type in x squared. So your x is beside the alpha button or under the mode button up at the top here. So you've got x, the squared sign is on the left of the comma. So x squared plus 5x plus 4. Okay? So we're going to be looking to see where does this guy touch the x-axis. Okay? So once you've got that plugged in, if your window, it might be out because we've done other graphing. So what I want you to do is in your, at the top here, you're going to see a button at the very top, all these 5 buttons here. The middle one works with your windows. So the 2 here on the left, they work with your windows. So if you hit zoom 6 takes you from negative 10 on x to positive 10 on x, negative 10 on y to positive 10 on y. So to 10 by 10 grid. So you would hit zoom and then 6. So if I hit zoom 6, then it's going to take me right to my graph, and it's going to show me my 10 by 10 grid. Okay? So this is what we are going to be, looking for. So we're looking at where does it touch the x-axis. This one's very specific. Where does it touch it at? What do you see? -1 and -4. Good. But are we certain that it's that? Or could it be a decimal answer? Maybe -1.1. Maybe it's -4.2. We don't know how close it's going to be. So we need to find out exactly. So that means we're going to go back to our y equals. And what we're doing here is we're following all these steps that are written here. We're going to be putting into y2, so scroll down to y2. And we're going to put the number 0 there. Okay? Now, the x-axis is called the y equals 0 line. Okay? It's called y equals 0 because the y number is 0 on that line. That's how you have an x-intercept. Okay? So, now, whenever we want to find an x-intercept, we're going to be graphing, and we're going to be doing an intersection. But to intersect something, you need 2 graphs. That means you need 2 things in y1 and y1, 1 and y2. If you only have y1 filled out and you're looking to solve something, it's going to say error. Okay? Because you need to have 2 graphs in order to solve it. Now, I'm going to make the x-axis be really thick. If you've got a color calculator, maybe it's a different color, but I'm going to make it really thick. So I'm going to make that guy over here on the left twitch, and then I'm going to hit it once. I'm going to hit enter. If you hit enter once, it's just going to make a thicker line. Okay? Now what's going to happen is, when I hit graph, it does it really, really fast. So you have to watch your graph. Okay? So when you hit that graph button, it's going to do it very fast. It's going to trace y1, which is the curve, and then it's going to go straight across and do 0. Okay? So it should do that, where it shows you the curve, and then goes across. Now, if you're getting error, and if it won't show you anything, I want everyone to hit the button under delete called stat. Everybody hit stat. Okay, now we're going to hit enter. This takes us to our lists. Sometimes calculators are very, very picky. Sometimes they want to see the location of the center of the graph. What is the origin location? It's 0, 0. So list 1 is always x. We'll put 0, enter. Use our right arrow. We're going to put 0, enter. So that's x and that's y. Okay, list 2 is always y. List 1 is always x. We're doing this to help the calculator locate the center of the graph. Some calculators won't graph unless you have that filled out. So it depends on the calculator. So if you had a calculator that showed you only 1 graph and then it went right to an error screen, it was probably because of this. These were probably empty. Okay? So they want to see 0, 0. Okay? Alright, so now we can hit the graph button again. So now we know exactly where it's going to be. We're going to do what's called an intersection. So we're going to do all these steps here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so color, no, it's just color red, you're fine, just hit okay. Just Scroll down to okay, you're good. Yeah, fine. Yeah. Okay. Does everybody have both of those listed in their y equals? You seen this? McKenna, you don't have it? Does everybody have this graph? Okay. We're going to do the steps now. Okay? We're doing all of these things. So, we're doing this, guys. Everybody look up here. Find the information on a graph. This is what we're doing. There's two basic steps. The first one, if you want to find a y number, if you know x. But we're not finding a y number if we know x. We know a y number. We know the other y number is 0. So we're looking for an x number. So if we're looking for an x number, this is step 2 here. Find x. Well, if you want to find x, you put everything into your y2. We're going to do an intersection. So it's second trace number 5. And then what's going to happen is it's going to intersect both those graphs. So, second trace. Trace is beside the graph button at the top. So hit second trace, now number 5. Okay, second trace, number 5. Now all you have to do is hit enter 3 times. So enter, enter, enter. Now, wherever the cursor is, because we have a curve, wherever your cursor is, whichever x-intercept it's closest to, that's the one it's going to find. So my cursor was over here, it's going to find the first one, -1. Okay? If I wanted to find the second one, I'm going to move my cursor before I hit number 5, or after I hit number 5. Okay? So, we're going to do second trace again. Everybody do second trace. Okay, we're going to hit number 5. But now we have to move the cursor, because otherwise it's stuck right there. You'll find the same answer. So you use the left and right arrows, not up and down, left and right, that moves your cursor. So we're going to move it to the left, anywhere past halfway. Okay, anywhere past halfway we'll find the other x-intercept. Okay, so I'm past halfway, doesn't matter where, I can have my cursor way up there. See, I can put him way over there, and that's okay. So now we're going to hit enter 3 times. And it's going to tell us the answer, -4. So, we did get the correct answers just by looking at it. We were correct, but we have to check to make sure. So, we would say, we have to draw the graph. We know this is our y-intercept. The constant's always the y-intercept. So, we know it's going to touch +4. We know it touches -1. And we know it touches -4. And now all I've got to do is just connect those dots. So, my graph is going to come down and then go back up. That's what my graph looks like. And now I'm going to say x equals -1 and -4. Those are my x-intercepts. So when you solve for x, we're literally solving for where does it touch on that line. That's what we've solved for. Okay? We're going to do examples B and C exactly the same way we just did this question. Okay? So, first step, we go to our graphic calculator, and we go to our y equals at the top left. Okay? We're using a different equation, so we need to put in x squared plus 7x subtract 8. So my x squared's there, you can type right over top. Plus 7x subtract 8. Okay, you keep 0 in list 2, or sorry, in y2 there. Okay, always keep 0 there because you need 2 of them to graph to be able to intersect them. All right, we're going to hit graph now. Okay, we can see it touches on the left way over there, and it touches on the right over here. Okay, so we need to hit second trace. Okay, number 5. Okay, now we have to locate our cursor. Mine's way down here. Your cursor is usually always on the y-intercept. The first example, my cursor started up here because it was at +4. This guy's starting down here because it's on the y-intercept at -8. Okay, that's why. All right, so we want to find this intersection right there. Okay, so we're going to enter 3 times. And it's going to find us +1. Okay, let me come see. So we're going to find the second x-intercept. So, in our graphing screen, we're going to find the one on the far left. So, to do that, we're going to hit second trace again, number 5. But now we have to move our cursor. It's way up here. We have to move it to the left. So we're just going to move our cursor till we see it go over halfway, till he pops up over on the left-hand side here. Do we see him yet? No, not yet. Where is he? There he comes. Okay, anywhere over halfway when you see your cursor. Okay? Now you can hit enter 3 times. And it's -8. So we have -8 and +1. So now we're going to go to our graph. We've got -8 here. It touches down here at -8 and up here at +1. Now we're going to sketch our graph through those points. Okay? So we got 3 points. We always have to label 3 points. Okay, we have to label both x-intercepts and the y-intercepts. Those 3 things you always label on your graph. Where it touches the y line up and down. And it's also the last number in the equation without a variable. Okay? Yep. Alrighty. Let's take a look at the next one. Alright. In your y equals, back to your y equals. Okay, we're going to clear it out. We need to hit our negative sign. So that's a -x². So negative sign beside the enter. And then we type in x squared. So -x² plus 16. Okay, does everybody have that in there? Yes. Beauty. All right, let's graph it. So this one is now going the other way. Okay, it's making a hill instead of a U. So we again have 2 x-intercepts. Where do you think our cursor is? Where's the cursor always? On the y-intercept, that's where he starts, because the y-intercept is always our graphing start point. Okay? Now, we only have +10, so we can't see how high it goes. Okay? But we really don't need to, because our cursors will be over here. Alright, so we're going to hit second trace, number 5. Now, we can't see our cursor, so we're going to move it. What you do is you look at your x numbers, that's how you tell where he is. So, if I'm going to move it to the right, I'm finding positive x numbers. So I'm waiting for him to show up. There he is. He showed up. Now I'm going to hit enter 3 times. 1, 2, 3. We get +4. Okay? Now we need to do the second one. Any guesses on the second one? -4. You're right. So let's just try it and confirm. Second trace. 5. Now we have to move the cursor to the left. So move your cursor using your left arrow only. Keep hitting the left arrow. Watch your x numbers because you want to see them go to the negative numbers. As soon as you see x in the negative numbers, you can start hitting enter 3 times. Okay, we actually don't have to literally see the cursor as long as we know it's over halfway. So now we hit enter 3 times, and we know -4s. So this guy touched way up here at +16. Touched at -4 and +4. And he's a graph that points downward. So he's one of those. So we have 3 spots that we always have to locate. They are 3 intercepts, 2 x's and 1 y. So this is how we would graph them. Now when we're factoring, okay, the factors are the opposite signs. So let's take a look at the first equation there, the a values. These ones right here, that's in blue. How would I put those back in brackets? So I'm just going to erase the guy beside so I have some room. So I'm going to open 2 brackets. Let's see what we would put in there. Who always starts our bracket? X does. Good. How do I put the -1 and -4 in the brackets? Wonderful. Yes, you do the opposite sign. So the -1 is going to go in as a +1. The -4 is going to go in as a +4. This would be the equation. Okay, in factor form equals 0. Okay, because remember, the factors in the brackets are always opposite to what they actually are on the graph. Okay, they're opposites. All right, let's take a look at the next couple. So it says use them to find the roots. They've used a different word. They said roots. What are they asking for? X-intercepts. Remember, they've got 5 different words. X-intercepts means solutions, zeros, roots. They asked for roots. All right. So we go back to our calculator. We go to our y equals. We clear it out. And now we start typing in the equation. So we need a negative sign. So we're going to have negative 0.5 x squared plus x plus 7.5. Okay, does everybody have their equation in? Do you have yours in, Philip? Go get it. 2. All right. Hit graph. Now we're going to find where it touches x. Okay, so we're going to hit second trace, number 5. Now, the cursor's on the y-intercept. It's closer to the left side, so I'm going to move it to the left and find the left one. Anywhere past halfway. Enter 3 times. So we get negative 3. The first one we see here is at negative 3. There's our first dot. And we've got a y-intercept, of 7.5. Because the guy without that, without a variable, is your y-intercept in the equation. So back to our graph. We are now going to find the guy on the right-hand side. So we're going to hit second trace again, number 5, and we're going to move the cursor now to the right. So use your right arrow to move your cursor. And he's going to go all the way over to the right, and you're going to hit enter 3 times. We get positive 5. So now we're going to put positive 5 over here, and now we can graph. We're going to trace our dots. Oh, I'm drawing a bit today. Usually my drawings never touch all my dots. We're touching my dots today. That's wonderful. Did everybody get a graph like mine? Perfect. All right, let's try the next one. Some of our answers are going to start to be decimals. They're not always going to be even numbers. After the lesson. Yeah. Okay, this equation. We only have a couple examples left. Okay, clear out what you have in y1. Now we're going to put in x squared plus 2x subtract 5. Okay, now we're going to hit the graph button. And this one's going to be decimals. Look, he's right in between numbers. He's in between them. So now we're going to hit second trace, number 5. We're over on here on the right side, so I'm going to move my cursor a little bit more closer to the right. And I'm going to hit enter 3 times. So we get 1.45. So we're going to always go to 2 decimal places. It's more accurate. So we're going to have 1.45. Okay, positive 1.45. Excellent. Now we're going to find the next one. So we're going to hit second trace, number 5, and now we move our cursor to the left using the left arrow. Anywhere over halfway. And hit enter 3 times. And this one's negative 3.45. So we're over here at negative 3.45. What's my y-intercept? Negative 5. Okay. So I'm going to go down here, put the negative 5, and now I'm going to trace my dots. Now, there's a way to find the y-intercept in your calculator, and I'd like to show everybody how to do that. So in your calculator, if you don't know what the y-intercept is, or maybe you forget it's the number without the variable, the way you find it on your calculator is on the y-axis. What is the value of x on that y line? 0. So what we do is, since we know the x number, we do the very first step up there on the finding information poster. which is called second trace number 1. If you know the value of x, you get x twitching over here. So now we just put the value of x. Well, 0. We want to know the y-intercept, x is 0. Hit enter. We get our -5. Okay? So there's ways you can check and make sure you've got the right numbers. Okay. These ones, we're going to talk about numbers of solutions. Okay? We just have 2 slides left, guys. So numbers of solutions. So because we're quadratics, there's a couple different types of solutions we have. The first one, it may not touch the x-axis at all. So we say the first kind is 0 solutions. Okay? So if it doesn't touch the x-axis at all, then it's 0 solutions. Okay? They will always touch the y-axis. Even though they may not look like it, if you extend it long, they will eventually cross y, always. Okay? But they may not cross the x. They always touch y. The next type, it might go right up to the line and then take right off again. So it might only touch once, kind of like a Snoopy nose. Or it can do it on the other side and do the exact same thing. So that would be called one solution. SOLN is the abbreviation of solution. Solid solution. So one solution. It touches X once. And then the kind that we've been dealing with mostly is touching twice. So 2 solutions. So we get where we have 0 solutions, 1 solution, or 2 solutions. So we're going to graph A and B, and we're going to see how many they have. All we're doing is checking how many times does it touch X. Okay? So that's all we're checking is how many times does it touch the x-axis. So we're going to grab our calculator, and we're going to type in the first equation. So get your y equals. In your y equals, you're going to type in the first one, x squared plus 5. So x squared plus 5. Okay, now we hit graph. Does that guy touch at all? No, this guy doesn't touch. So we're going to draw our graph. This guy has 0 solutions. Okay, 0 solutions. Because he doesn't touch the x-axis. Okay, that's why. Okay, now we go back to our calculator, and we're going to put the other equation in. So, back to my y equals x squared plus 4x plus 4. All we're checking is how many times does it touch x. Now we hit graph. Only once. This guy comes over here and then takes back off. He's like, I don't like it over here. I'm leaving. So it's 1 solution. Okay? But it will always touch the y line. All right. The last question is a problem-solving question on the bottom of page 14. All right. You're always going to get a question, and it's going to be referring to they're either going to launch a rocket, or they're going to throw a ball or a football, and it's going to make an arc, or maybe they hit a golf ball, because they always make some sort of an arc. So because of that, typically you're going to get a number in front of x squared that's a negative, because most of these will always be going down. Okay? Now, if it is a problem-solving question, we no longer use all of the graph features. We only use quadrant 1. Okay? That's the problem-solving quadrant, because everything is positive. So, we use quadrant 1, we're going to get a graph that looks like this. And the question's telling us, at what time does the rocket land? So we've got time on the bottom, we got height on the side. Okay, we've got to label the graph. And now we want, if time's on the bottom, and they want to know when does it land, we're finding the x-intercept here. Okay? In problem solving, we never find the negative one. We know there's a negative one way over there, but for problem solving, we don't use that one. We only use the positive one. So that just reduces the amount of work we have to do. We like that. All right, so let's go back to our y equals. And we're going to clear out what's in there. And now we're going to type in negative 4.9x squared. And the rest of the equation has a plus 68. Yep, 68x. Okay? So negative 4.9x squared plus 68x. All right, now we're going to hit graph. Okay, we only see way up here. We don't see on the far right. So we need to change our graph features. The only way to do that, there's a couple different ways. The first easiest way is to hit zoom and then 0. That's called a fit graph. It'll show you your graph. It's going to give you a place to start, and then you're going to adjust your window. We want to see where it lands on the right-hand side. We can't see that yet. So we have to extend it going this way. So we go to our window, and that's our x maximum we have to extend. So we go down 1. It's at 10 right now. I'm just going to double it, make it 20, and hit enter. Okay? Now we're going to hit graph again. Now we should be able to see it. There we go. Now we can see it. Okay? So we're going to hit second trace. Yeah, or go positive 20 for x maximum. So x maximum should be positive 20. Okay, your x maximum positive 20. So now we're going to do second trace number 5. We need our cursors way up here. We need to pull it to the right because we need to do the x-intercept on the right-hand side. Okay, our cursor's way over here. We're going to hit enter 3 times. And we're going to get 13.88. Okay? So, that is A. So this guy here is 13.88. That's time in seconds. So that was the answer of A. How long does it take for the rocket to land? It takes 13.88 seconds to land. Okay? So I would write that up here for letter A. 13.88 seconds. Then it says, Bonnie's friend Sasha is watching from a lookout point, 72 meters above the ground. So what we do is we go into our y equals and put a 72 in there. So now I'm going to go back to my graph, and we got to go to our y, and where the 0 is, we're going to put 72. Now, that's way, way up tall. We need to be able to see all of that, right? So let's hit graph and see if we can see the 72. We see a line going through there? Yeah, we do. Now it says, if Bonnie's friend is watching from there, when will the rocket be at her eyesight? Well, the rocket will be at her eyesight. Whoa. Rocket will be at her eyesight over here and over here. So we're finding 2 numbers. Okay? Not just 1, 2 numbers. So we go back to our calculator. We're finding that number on the left and the number on the right. And we're doing the exact same thing. It's all number 5. So second trace, number 5 intercept. And now we're going to move our cursor to the left to find the left one, just over closer to the left. We're going to hit enter 3 times. And that one is 1.15. Okay, 1.15. Okay, now we're going to find the guy on the right. Okay, where did I lose you? Okay, so we'll second trace. 5. Okay, and now move your cursor to the left a little bit. Okay, and now enter 3 times. There you go, 1.15. Okay. All right, now we're going to do the other guy. So we're going to go second trace number 5 again. But now we got to move our cursor to the right. Okay, move way over to the right. Way over. And hit enter 3 times. So we got 12.72. So that means this point over here was at 1.15, This guy over here was at 12.72. So at 1.15 seconds after the launch, she can see it, it's at her eye level. And then 12 seconds, 0.7 after the launch, it's again at her eye level. Okay, that's what that's showing us. Any questions with using a calculator to solve intersections? Groovy? Alright, this will help you check your factoring questions. Alright, this concludes lesson 2C.